Hello viewers and welcome to my channel. I'm your host Salim. Today's video I would like to talk about how to do a behavior report, that is ABC data, and also to do an incident report. A lot of people have been asking me like, oh, my client did this and this, how do I do it? For those who don't know, I've worked for nearly 6 to 7 years in disability sector, so I know a little bit of how to do this documentation. So I wish you could take my advice, but you can improve. I'm not saying my way of doing things, documenting, is the best or is the only way. A lot of people do things differently. My job is to give you just tips for those people who are still new in the industry and they are struggling to do documentation. So I want to give you a scenario typical to NT. Okay, so let's say you rock up for the shift and you are starting at 3 o'clock, and just 10 minutes to your shift, your client asks you for a cigarette. You offer your client cigarette, and then he or she finish, and you, by chance, you are able to let your client know that that was the last cigarette he or she is going to have. So he didn't have a problem. He managed to smoke his cigarette, went back inside and relaxed. 10 minutes later, he came out of his room and he appeared to be angry and upset with you, and he started telling you, you guys are stealing my cigarette. He went on to abuse you by swearing. He went on again to threaten to punch you and all those. And then he went on again to destroy property, let's say break the TV and all those. But lastly, he walked away. Okay, so in this scenario, you've seen a lot of things that happen within 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or let's say 20, that has already brew up. So how are you going to tackle this incident? First thing first, you need to be aware is timestamp. Therefore, I always advise people who work in this disability, especially with people who have challenging behavior, always have your own wristwatch, so that you should be able to just check time and say, at this time, this is the time behavior. So let's unpack this incident that happened. One, we notice what you have to be aware of was time. About time, they have so many factors. You should be able to note down time the incident or the behavior started, time the client walked away, time the client appeared to came back home, and also the time the client was on the baseline, and the time the incident finished. Okay, there's around 5 things about time that you need to have in your mind. Okay, now that you have that one in your mind, what other things do you need to know before as we unpack this incident? Let's reflect at this incident. You identify the trigger. What was the trigger in this incident? You realize the trigger was cigarette. Okay, now you know that the trigger was cigarette. You put it aside. Okay, and you say this is the what that appeared to trigger. Okay, now what else do we unpack from this behavior log? We unpack that there was a verbal aggression. He threatened that he will punch you and all those. Also, there was abusive. Okay, you are abused, you are being swear like f you and all those, whatever abuse that you experience. Okay, so we have unpacked that one. And also you have unpacked that there was a property damage. And the last one that you have also managed to grab there was he walked away, he absconded. Okay, so you have 4-5 things that happened in that incident. So how do you write this incident? Let's start by writing first of all behavior log. That means ABC data. Okay, so when you come to do ABC data, you anticipate the behavior. Okay, so how are you gonna write anticipation? You say you rock up for the shift, 10 minutes into the shift, participant. Here I want you to use abbreviation. Let's say if a participant name is SK, okay, Salim, so you can say SK asked for a cigarette. I managed to give the cigarette and also notify SK that that was his last cigarette. Okay, he had no problem with it. He went on and smoked and went to his room. Okay, that is A. You have anticipated A. You go to B. The behavior was SK came out of his room at 3:20. He went on. He was observed to be verbally abusive, and this is what he said. He said, "F you, this, you this and that, and I will punch you." Okay, that's a threat, verbal threat. Okay, so he went on to say, I will punch you or I will kill you, okay? You put in there, okay? What else did he do? He went on to break, AF was observed to be breaking the TV, or SK was observed to be breaking the TV. SK managed to abscond at this time, okay? At this, he managed to abscond. So that one, B, you have already listed the behavior, okay? So let's go to C. What did you do? So if you walked away, you say, I followed the walk away protocol, or I followed the protocol when you abscond, okay? So that means a good company should have a walk away protocol. That means if you abscond, if he does this, this is what you do. You either call the police, you call this, you call this, you call the manager, and all those, okay? So you say you follow the walk away protocol. You manage to talk to the client in a nicer manner, but affirm to tell him that you don't smoke his cigarette, or you are not in a possession of his cigarette. And if he comes down and go back to the house, you're going to talk to the manager, the team leader, so that they can provide him with extra cigarette, okay? Those are things you did, okay? Other than that, if you walked away, what did you do? If the protocol says you call the police, notify the police, you have to write that you notify the police at this time, At what time did he came back? At what time he appeared to be at the base level, and at what time you feel like the incident was over. So you have to you have to note down all those in section C, okay? Now that you have unpacked and you have done your ABC data, let's go ahead and do your incident report. So it's so simple. If you have a full paragraph of incident report, all you do in incident report, you take whatever was in paragraph A, okay? In column A, you put it as first paragraph. Whatever was in B, you put it as second paragraph. Whatever was in C, you put it in third paragraph, and you finish. Maybe other things they will ask you in your incident report is, what was the trigger? You say it appeared to be, you are not there, you are not in their head, so you can't say it was cigarette. You can say it appeared to be cigarette that trigger. Most of the incident report ask you for recommendation. What do you want us to do? What do you want the company could be done better? One, you can say the company should be able to buy more cigarettes just for emergency, so that in an event where there's a behavior that occur like this, you should be able to give him one cigarette as you plan for other things, okay? Two, you can say we recommend that a client should be given to hold possession of his or her own cigarette, so that he should be able to see it when he doesn't have, so that it doesn't put you as a staff in an arm's way, okay? Those are recommendations you can give, okay? So we have unpacked the entire incident. We have the entire incident we have unpacked, and we have split it into behavior log and incident report. So you see how easy for you to do an incident, okay? So I hope this video will help you. For those who just started the job and they don't know much what to do, feel free to still inbox me and tell me to come up with extra video that can support you to do your job properly, because I will tell you this for free, this industry that we are working in is a risky one, because we are dealing with human beings, and if you messed up, that's it for you, you know. Until next time,